Hello, Gothic friends. This is Alice, and you are in Gothic land. You are now in the third story. Very welcome to this section, on short Gothic stories for Christmas. So today's story is is based on a real adventure of mine. This is based on a time where when I went to England with my husband. We went to visit his family, as we used to do every time we could, and I was promised a tour through the church cottage. So I was thinking that since I liked ghosts and I wanted to start writing a story, and I was talking about it with some of my parents-in-law's friends, and one of them decided to be really kind and take us around this cottage because he knew some of the ghost stories there. So this story, as I said, is based on that experience, and not all of it is true, but most of the information, the historical information in there, it is absolutely true. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it, and here we go. So, the church cottage. And this is how it starts. Okay, one moment. There we go. So, here we go. After the Christmas service, Paul and Susan took us on a ghostly historical tour to the Church Cottage Museum in Broughton, as promised. The cottage, a 16th century Tudor dwelling, had gone through many changes and had welcomed a lot of inhabitants for many years. As soon as we walked in, a flare of ancient painted mold shook my brain inside my skull. "Mind your head," Paul said, laughing at my husband as we walked in. People in the past were shorter, so they didn't need tall door frames. As soon as we stepped in, we were in the living room, kitchen, dining room. There were a lot of ancient objects and kitchen utensils I had never seen in my whole life. The fireplace on the right reminded me of those horror films where a lost traveler ends up being haunted by the harmless old lady of the house. I was keeping an open mind, though, and a heart full of excitement. I was after a good ghost story to start a novel, and that was the perfect place and the perfect time of the year to start my adventure. On our left, there was a small corridor that led to other parts of the building. That part had been adapted to become an inn and a pub, so at some point it had had many visitors. I got my camera out and started recording while Paul was guiding us around the cottage. He took us to what had been a sleeping area for animals and human beings alike, then to the Victorian schoolroom. But my main recordings aim at the area where the Spanish Catholic priest Edward Bamber had spent the last hours of his life before being sent to trial, and later quartered for his religious beliefs. It was around the 1600s. When we eventually sat down next to the warm fireplace, I felt a bit disappointed that neither the legless ghost of Edward Bamber nor a child soul from the cottage graveyard had given me a sign or had talked to me via goosebumps. The only thing I experienced was a certain uneasiness when realizing how close the cemetery was from the cottage. Waking up every morning at the sight of the sleeping dead was not my idea of a relaxing life in the countryside. After taking many notes and feeling a deep gratitude for the tour, I proceeded to take many pictures of the haunted cemetery. I always took pictures of it on Christmas Day, absolutely besotted by the headstones and their positions one next to the other and in relation to the church. That was a real chill for me. Who would have wanted to live so close to that place? It still makes me uncomfortable when I think about it. Back at my husband's family house, I proceeded to look at the photos and the video. To my surprise, the video never took place. It was as if I had forgotten to switch on the camera, or as if I had recorded a pitch black landscape. Even to this day, I think I might have left the lens cap on the camera, although I have my doubts. While looking through all the pictures, one caught my attention. It was a picture of the old graveyard. I maximized the pictures just to see clearly a blurred image that seemed to be hovering over a bench. When I looked closely, the image was really clear. It was a torso with no legs. Okay, so this is my third story. I hope you've liked it. And if you have a similar story about cemeteries, churchyards, graveyards, sorry, and of the sort, please send them to me. I know that England is more prone to this kind of views, but in Spain we also have some of them, and many of them cemeteries always have stories. So please send them to me. I will be very happy to read your own stories or your own versions of stories. So thank you very much, and remember, send all your info to alicegothicland@gmail.com. And if you have liked these three stories, remember that I'm leaving some breadcrumbs for you very soon. You can download the script of the three of them. So that's just absolutely free. You can download the scripts of the three stories. And for those of you who are interested in the language side of things, I will send you some information. When you sign in for the three scripts of the stories, I will give you some extra information for working on the language, on the texts. So if you have enjoyed this, if you would like to take it another step further, you want to keep moving on, use these stories for you to learn either improving your English or to improve your Spanish, to work on your languages. It doesn't matter if your mother tongue is English or Spanish, or you're after whatever language you are, your target language. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you would like to work on the texts or that you would like to work on your own stories. Okay, so let me know, write to me, and see you very, very soon. Thank you.